What's up, everybody? I just wanted to make a quick video showing you how to set up the DJI Focus Pro. Shout out to bro for coming on the last video, in regards to the setup. So let me just do a quick video showing you how to set it up. So for starters, the first two things I want to talk about is these cables right here. These are the cables that come with the DJI Focus Pro. Now it's important to use these cables, but it's also important to double check them. Here's why. So the Focus Pro will not work with regular USB-C cables. So they look regular, but they're not regular. Meaning when you plug these up, it should work almost automatically. If it doesn't, you have bad cables. When I first got my device, the reason I was having issues with it is literally because they shipped it with bad cables. With that being said, you can actually get a cheap backup pair of the cables on eBay. I think I probably paid 20 bucks. You can get them off Amazon now. These are off brands. Definitely get you a set of backup cables. All right, so for starters, I'm gonna dive straight into it. This is the focus motor right here. So what you wanna do is mount this onto your camera. Now, personally, I got mine mounted at the bottom, but you can also mount it at the top. It's really personal preference. Aside from this, one of the main things is the actual Lidar. The Lidar right here. So I've chosen to actually mount mine with the Nitze kit. I want to say I paid like an extra 40 bucks for this kit, but essentially what this kit does is it basically allows you to remove the original mount on here, because when you first get this device, it's pretty much designed to go on a cold shoe or a hot shoe. But if you want to be more flexible, you're going to have to remove those screws and get some sort of kit or be custom with it. So with this Nitze kit, you can actually mount it to the 15mm rods, and then from there you can adjust it. So it has this right here, so the Lidar can basically go side to side. Let's say if you want to get it more centered. As you can see, it has a lens right here. So for me, I try to line this up almost perfectly with my lens, so that way what's showing up on the Lidar screen, on the preview screen, is more comparable to what's on the lens. Now technically, you do not have to have it set up this way. It just makes it a little bit easier in terms of setting up your shot. You can definitely mount the Lidar like over here to the side and it'll work just fine. So another thing I want to talk about is the handle. Now it's two ways you can use this. The way I'm using it right now, I'm just using a regular battery grip. This is the one that comes with it. But you can definitely, you can take this off and use like a Ronin power base if you want to. Some people say you shouldn't do it. I haven't had any problems, but we'll just show you how to do it this way instead for now. So you hook this up. Mind you, it comes with all of this, right? This is an attachment which basically allows you to attach it to a NATO rail. What I did was, let me see if I can show y'all a little bit closer. I put a NATO rail right there so that I can just go ahead and slide on the arm. So let me go ahead and do that. So from here is fairly easy to use. So all you have to do is essentially plug it in at this point. So you want to take one cable. Now it's going to tell you where to plug it up. So on the left side, this goes into the Lidar. When you plug it into the Lidar, you plug it into the second port on the Lidar. Now you want to take this other cable, which keep in mind, there's going to be logos on the unit, so it makes it a little bit easier. So on this one, you take the cable for the motor and plug it into the end on the focus wheel, on the focus motor, I mean. So now you just turn it on. When you turn it on, the screen is pretty much going to come on. And as you're doing this, it's going to calibrate the lenses. So it's important to make sure you double check this. So it looks like it's on. Now the way mine is set up, it usually automatically starts off in manual. I press the button and now it's going to the autofocus mode. So now it's autofocusing. You can actually see the Lidar blinking a little bit in there. So pretty much, let me just show y'all another little part. From here, let me get this a little bit closer. So from here is fairly simple. You want to go into the settings and you see where it says lens profile. This is where you can pretty much set up your lenses and different things like that. Now you can store about 15 lenses in here at a time. If you want to use a different lens, pretty much you're gonna have to delete them out, add them in. What I personally prefer to do is just to use the phone app. Just download the DJI Ronin app, and then you can actually do it on the app. It's a lot quicker. One of the cool things about this device is, luckily, a lot of cinema lenses are programmed into it automatically. And when I say automatically, what I mean is when you open up the app, it's going to say, oh, are you using a Dizio film lens? Or are you using this Blazar lens? Certain lenses already have profiles. So you basically just click And essentially when you click it, what it's going to ask you to do is, as you can see, I got the DZO film right here. When you click it, it's basically going to be like, hey, set this to infinity focus, press a button, boom, boom, then it's going to work. If it is a manual lens, it's going to have you focus on focusing points. So for example, it may be like, hey, focus at 5 meters and then focus at infinity. But don't be alarmed. The handle is pretty much going to tell you, so it'll let you know, like it's going to measure it for you, so it's pretty easy to do. One thing I do want to say before I get out of here, you see that little symbol right there? That's basically showing where your camera sensor is. When you use this device, it's going to ask you to measure basically how far the LiDAR is from the sensor. Now it comes with a piece of paper which has like a ruler. You can do it like that, or you can just get any ruler. You measure in millimeters. If your ruler is not in centimeters, or if your ruler is not in millimeters, you just convert it. The reason why that's important is because the more accurate that is in terms of how it's reading, how close it is to the sensor, it's going to work better. So that's just something to keep in mind. Aside from that, like I said, make sure you get some extra cables, because if those cables are broke, it's not going to work. And it doesn't work with regular cables. Other than that, it's pretty simple to use. So if you're someone who likes to shoot with like a side handle or anything like that, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Especially if you want autofocus and you have like manual cine lenses or even old school lenses. With that being said, this is just a quick video showing you how to set up the Focus Pro. If you need more information, just let me know in the comments below. Like I said, overall, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you plug the cables into the right ports, it will pretty much work. As I said, the top of the unit kind of tells you where to plug it in. So the important thing is when you get this device, just make sure your cables are good. If you got it plugged in like this and it's not working, or it's not like focusing, then that most likely means that your cables are bad. Like I said, when I first got this device, my cables were bad. Like one of them was fried or something like that, so it didn't work at all. I had to contact DJI. But like I said, just get a couple backup cables and you should be fine. They did replace the cables for free. So if your cable is messed up, they will replace it for free. Other than that, it works great. It's definitely a product I would recommend, and I enjoy it. I will be using it on my upcoming feature film. If you have any questions, just let me know. Peace.